Let's see if y'all can take a guess at what cylinder this spark plug belongs to. All right, there's cylinder 8, cylinder 6, cylinder D. All this wedged in the head.
That's going to be a problem.
Looking at the cylinder, got a couple of scratches on the cylinder wall. What up, YouTube? We back. You see, we got that valve delete Camaro behind me. Finally, we got the engine back. Had to wait a little bit for some pistons. Did a nice little custom spec build that you guys will see and be a part of. So stay tuned. Drop a like, comment, subscribe. About to get the motor put in this beast. Oh shit. Look what we got back. The famous drop valve Camaro will be going back together real soon. Just got the motor back. This thing going in the trash. Got an LME billet tensioner. Show you guys all the parts and stuff we got for this build. Getting this thing put together. Gonna be a badass NA Camaro when it's all said and done, best believe. Some of the best parts in this thing. Custom GPI cam, single bolt ARP. This thing is gonna be a stick shift monster. Starting to get the motor assembled, timing set. Waiting on a few gaskets and stuff to come in. Y'all gonna like this one, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and get this rear main cover cleaned up. Just like that, it's all nice and brand new looking. Got this seal in. Dealer never sent this seal, so we're still waiting on that one to come. We'll go ahead and throw the timing cover on this LME cover. It's got an O-ring that seals it off around. I'm still gonna put a little silicone just in the bottom corners and then get that put on before the oil pan, because we gotta connect this connector up here to the oil pan. So let's go ahead and get this timing cover installed. Just like that, got it on. Got the engine turned over. Getting the oil pan all cleaned up. Getting all the silicone off. I'm getting ready to take the windage tray out and take the pickup tube out, clean everything out. And then I'm gonna actually put this thing in the hot tank because yeah, it's a little dusty. Got this sensor connected with the lock-in tab down in. And got the new seals that'll go in the pan in the bag. So let's go ahead and get this windage tray pulled out. Looks like there's a piece of like a valve spring or something stuck in there. Yeah. Some silicone, there we go. Piece of the spring. Go ahead and get the oil pan all cleaned up. Got everything all nice and cleaned up, outside to in. Blew out all the oil cooler holes, getting everything out of the oil filter section. So we're just gonna blow some air through the tube and then we'll go ahead and throw it on the engine. Got the gasket in, these bolts tightened up. Rear cover is on. Got all the bolts hand tightened up all the way around. Let's go ahead and put that oil pan together and we'll slap it back on. Watch how fast we put this thing together. Just like that. All the bolts hand tight. Got all the gaskets. So we'll go ahead and get silicone put all around the edges and then we'll throw it on the engine. So we'll go ahead, just go around the oil pan, double check over all the bolts, flip the motor back over and we'll start getting the heads put on. Got our lifters soaking. We're gonna actually go ahead and get them put in the engine. Got the custom gaskets. Let's go ahead and open up this box. Got all the ARP bolts in. This one actually takes a shorter bolt than the rest, so always remember the short bolt goes by cylinder 1 on the driver's side. On these Cometic gaskets, it says front here. On this side, the front is actually on the bottom portion. But you see we got both sides on. All the coolant holes line up where it needs to be. Let's go ahead. We'll go grab these beautiful cylinder heads. Get these things thrown on. Overheads, LSX Concept sends it out. Damn, look at that shit. Max ported. Let's go ahead and get these heads torqued down. Gonna get all the ARP washers on. All right, we got our torque specs for the ARPs. All right, we got that last 115. Let's go ahead and get this over with. Said it before, I'm gonna say it again. These LT heads with ARPs got you sweating torquing them down. I don't care who you are. Heads are all torqued down. Go ahead and keep moving forward. Got the motor mount brackets on, got the AC bracket on. Went ahead and cleaned all the brackets up. Go ahead and get this balancer thrown on. Gotta line up that keyway right there. Get this thing on. Manly push rods for the win. Getting them put in. Gonna get the rockers torqued down after. We went ahead and took the measurement, see where they needed to be. I'll get that valve cover over there. I only got 2 bolts holding it on. Pull that off and then we'll get the motor in the car. That's all we were really waiting on. The rest of the engine is assembled, brackets, everything that I can put it in the car with. Got all the push rods in place. With these link bar lifters, you gotta make sure that they're actually in the lifter hole. It's easy to place them outside of it, so pro tip on that one. But we're gonna go ahead, get all the rockers put on, intake and exhaust, get them torqued down to spec. Motor's ready to go in. And this thing's been back here in death row waiting on the motor. Damn, this thing is dusty, but I'm gonna push it around and get the engine put in and bring this beast back to life. Getting the car pushed around right now. Getting ready to put it in the bay. Ooh, it's hot in here. Oh, all right, can't see nothing. But they're back there pushing. We're getting in here. Damn, it's hard to see. Let's get it lined up on the lift. There go the motor sitting over there. Thank you guys, hell yeah. Thank you, woo. So we're gonna go ahead, get the car up on the lift and get it prepped and ready to get the engine dropped in this thing. Man, it is very, very dusty. It's seen some dust storms and stuff sitting in the back, waiting on some parts and stuff to come in, but let's get to work. This thing up in the air. So it's not gonna lean, fall backwards. All right, I'll hose the whole front end down. That way I can wrap the front end up and I don't gotta worry about nothing getting scratched up. Just like that. All right. Gotta get the clutch on that. But first we gotta take the cherry picker down. Lift that up, throw the clutch on. That, and there. That pilot bearing installed. Let's get the clutch on. Just like that. Got the clutch on. Let's get that in. Just like that. Let's go ahead and get this cherry picker off the motor, and then we'll get the motor mount nuts in. Get the rest of the transmission bolts in. other side tight. And then we'll start wiring up the motor, putting grounds on and whatnot. Oh yeah. Oh, it's tight. All right. Got the grounds tight. There's 2 grounds on the driver's side and 1 on the passenger side. Got the 15s in the back of the head all tightened down. Got all the bell housing bolts up top all hand tight. Motor mounts are in. Got the steering shaft back in place. So we're gonna go up, put the oil cooler on so we can get this pipe into place. And then from there, alternator. We might do the headers first, but we'll do alternator, water pump, and then all the fuel stuff. Fuel injectors, intake manifold, and start this thing up. Lower this hood down. Go back up. We'll get this oil cooler in place where the oil cooler lives. So let's go ahead and slap this thing on. Just like that. Got both the lines in there. Anytime you have the clip held in lines, make sure you give it a nice tug, because if the pressure builds up in the cooling system and it's not fully locked in, it'll pop out on you. All right, we got the starter in, got Loctite on the bolts. Let's go ahead and put the cover over real fast, and then we'll get both headers put up in there. All right, cover's on. These coated headers going up in here. Go ahead and use 2 hands to get this in. It's a pretty tight fit on this side. Just like that. Got the passenger side in. Let's go ahead and throw the driver's side one up. All right. Just like that. We got them both in place. Let's go ahead and lower the car back down. That brand new shiny gasket. Look at that shit glistening. Let's go ahead and slap it on this header over here. Always make sure down, and it typically tells you what side is manifold side and what side is not, but this is the manifold side. Those are tight. Got the other side here. We'll face it down and throw it on. All right, we got this header in place. Let's go ahead. We're waiting on the plugs to come in from the parts store. So we're gonna go ahead, we'll throw the alternator on real quick and get the wires and the power wire attached to that. We got the power wire on, tightened down. Got the signal output wire for the gates hooked up. On the water pump, you put this clip in here that goes for that vacuum tube. Make sure that clips in, and then the clip for that tube there. Make sure your surfaces are clean and get some big gaskets, and let's throw it together. That LME timing cover though, man, that shit looks like jewelry. Got our brand new water pump gaskets. Let's get this water pump on. And the water pump is on. I need a second hand with the AC belt, so I'm gonna go ahead and move up to the injectors and get some of this stuff taken care of. Let's go ahead and get this Motion Raceworks plate pulled off. Go ahead and get our fuel pump lifter put in back there for the high pressure pump, and then we'll get our K-Tech plate put on. We got a new gasket for that thing too. The fuel lifter here, gonna put a little bit of Loctite on that bolt, put it down in that back hole back there, just like that. Brother helped me get the AC belt on, got it walked on all the way around, spun it over a few times. So let's get the dry belt on, and then we'll finish up here. Put the dry belt on. Spark plugs came in too, so we'll get these things gapped after we finish what we're doing there. Got our brand new Valley plate gasket, so get this other one taken out, thrown in the garbage. How we rocking? We got a new fuel pump gasket. So let's go ahead and get it put on the pump. Get your Loctite. All right, I'm gonna visually look in the holes, make sure we don't have no nuts or bolts. Now I'm just gonna blow it out with some air and then we'll throw the injectors in. On your injectors, you wanna make sure you have all your dust seals and all the rest of the seals look intact, which all these look good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some blue Loctite on the bolts that hold them to the cylinder head. All right, let's go ahead and get these torqued down. You hear the snaps and push the red tabs down. We got some brand new fuel lines that go in between and connect everything together. So let's go ahead and throw those on. This is from the center section where the two rails meet to the pump. So we'll go ahead, we're gonna replace these. Always put some sealant, Loctite on all the points where we seal the threads and nothing rattles loose. Get some Loctite on those and then we'll lock these joints down. And this one goes just like this. Perfect fitment. Just like that. Whew, that was a little bit of a fight, not gonna lie. But since this thing's gonna be onto the intake, do a nice little back and forth tug. This thing sees some high pressure. This thing sometimes sees over 2,000 PSI. All right. See if I can pour this without spilling. Already failed. Let's get this filled up. Look at that perfect pour. Go ahead and get this filter screwed on ever so gently so we don't mix around the fluids. Got us a Wix racing filter and some 2050 weight. So we got the plate on. Starting to get these plastics put on. Gonna get all this stuff bolted down. I did get this front plastic put back in. Got all the subframe bolts tightened up. Got all the AC compressor bolts. You can see the bottom one right there. AC compressor is plugged in. Got the exhaust connected. Got the O2 sensors connected. Got this one zip tied out of the way where it was. And then I'm just gonna double check over everything, make sure no wiring or nothing is on the exhaust down here. And then I double check the drain plug. Drain plug's tight. We'll lower the car down, put the two front wheels on, and finish the rest of the stuff up top. All right, so we got all the plastics in under here. Got every bolt accounted for. All the exhaust and everything is tight. Double check to make sure nothing's on the exhaust. Everything is zip tied up out of the way of the headers. So we're gonna go ahead, put the two front wheels on now, and then finish up top. So we got the plugs gapped down to what the tuner recommended. So we're getting the plugs put in now. Gonna go ahead and get these tightened down on both sides. Get our wires put on, all the wires in place. Valve covers are next. Valve covers are on. Coil packs, intake will be last. Coil packs are on. Gonna go ahead and get the covers put on both sides. One One side on, move over to the next side. We got both covers off. Went ahead and put the foam underneath. And then I checked every hole with a light. Everything looks good. Nice and clean in every cylinder. So we're gonna clean up the intake and then we'll throw that thing on. Had to get the intake taken apart. Found a couple of pieces of, almost looks like valve or something, but got it all cleaned out. Gonna throw the throttle body back on and we'll get it on. Gaskets are in. Let's go ahead and get all these 8s torqued down to spec. Put the air box in. Hook the catch can up. Put some oil, some coolant, and we're gonna fire this thing up. All right, we got the catch can installed. We're gonna go ahead now and get the air box put in. Held vacuum for about 10 minutes, below 25. See, we're full of coolant. Let's go ahead and throw the oil in and we'll fire this thing up. Let's get this oil in this beast. All right, got a few jumper boxes. Got one in the back. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing to crank over. It's alive! Good oil pressure. See if we can get it to come down a little bit. So the car is actually going to get tuned by Cortez Performance. Damn, listen to that thing chopping. Great oil pressure, good coolant level, batteries charging, no check engine faults. Fan just came on. Foliage is looking good. How we do it? Woo, we've been working all day. That'll wrap it up for this video. Like, comment, subscribe for more to come. This thing goes on the dyno and I can record some videos for y'all. I'll post them at the end of the video, but appreciate y'all watching. That's another one gone. First drive, it's really dusty, but